Hey, Shed here with Speed Addicts, the fastest growing gear site on the web, and today we're going to uncrate the EBC MD series floating and standard rotors. What's up, Speed Addicts fan? Before we jump in and educate you about some EBC rotors, do us a favor, subscribe to the Speed Addicts channel. Keep the party going. Be a more informed shopper when it comes to the gear and parts you're putting on your motorcycle. If you subscribe, then you don't miss out. Also, if you'd like to support us here at speedaddicts.com, you could do so by simply shopping with us. It's that easy. Don't spend your money with those corporate monoliths. Help us out, speedaddicts.com. There's a link in the description below that'll take you to the full selection of EBC braking components available here at Speed Addicts for going on 20 years now. Okay, EBC Braking Components, it's a British company, high quality producer. They have two factories, one in jolly old England and one in Ohio. They call that their friction factory. It's clever, right, producer Matt? I like that. Okay, friction factory. Most of the brake pads made in the United States, most of the rotors made in the UK, but with German mill-rolled steel. Good stuff. Can you spend less money on aftermarket brakes? Yes. You can go on eBay and buy that cheap crap. Do I do that? No, I like to stop when it's important to stop. I want to stop. I don't want to buy things twice either. You buy cheap rotors, they're going to warp. It's just a matter of time. So you're going to end up buying them twice. You know, it's like that $200 couch. Like, it's going to get sacked out. You just buy the nicer one out of the gate, save yourself the trouble. Here we go. Enough with my stupid analogies. EBC rotors have a few different types. You'll notice as you look through the catalog, you'll see some that are just a standard round finish, some with V's cut in them, some cut with like a little wavy pattern on the edge. Different configurations. This is more the classic, the standard, the MD series. Now those Contour and V rotors are more high performance options and they offer a few different advantages, but the classic floating rotor from EBC, this MD series, is still very effective, and it's ventilated and slotted so that it stays cool and keeps performing well. Over here on my left, we have the non-floating. Floating with the rivets, two-piece system, alloy hub. Non-floating. This is for the rear of the machine in most cases. Most street bikes, and we're talking primarily about street bikes in today's video, the standard MD series. Most street bikes are going to have that high-performance, more expensive floating rotor, the two-piece rotor, up on the front because the forces involved in stopping in the front are way more extreme. They generate more heat. There's more expansion of the disc. The disc actually grows in both directions, and to manage that disc changing shape under heat and forces, they're going to use the two-piece system. The rear is less sophisticated and a lot less money. You'll notice that when you're buying your rear rotors, okay? This is one-piece system, bolts right on, and you're ready to rock. You typically replace these less frequently too, unless you're some sort of brake dragger. I also recommend on your street bikes using EBC's organic compound, the standard FA black label stuff on the rear, unless you're at the track. Maybe you want a little bit more bite on the rear. Typically, guys can get by just fine with the organic pads on the back, and they will save the rotor. They'll extend the rotor life. You'll get a lot more life out of that rear rotor if you go with the organic pad instead of the metallic pad that you're going to want to use up here on the front to get max bite and performance. Okay, back to the floating rotor. So EBC has a few things that make their rotor special. Number one, they're made in the UK. Number two, they're made with German mill-rolled steel. They're tempered. They're made to hold up to the heat. These things will not warp unless they're abused. Pretty much straight up. We've sold thousands over the last 20 years, and it is rare that they warp. So that's why you're spending a little bit extra money in that eBay stuff we talked about earlier. The other thing they're using is their square drive rivets, or as they call them over at EBC HQ, bobbins. I don't think we say bobbins here. We'll call them rivets. So these look spherical. They look like they're a circle. But when you remove this thing, you will see that the edges on both sides are actually straight cut. They're square. What that does is allows enough room for these two pieces to never meet, because, like I said, the steel will expand in both directions as the friction is applied. It gets nice and hot. It's gonna come in on that hub, and the square drive rivet system will keep them from touching, because on lesser brakes, when these two pieces make contact and bind, it will cause the rotor to warp because it has nowhere to go. Once your rotor is warped, pretty much trash. So that's bad news. So EBC claims this totally eliminates rotor warpage. Like I said, unless you do something absolutely insane, like heat them up to race temps and then plow through, a giant, pond or something afterwards, these things are not going to warp on you. Okay? Get the drift. The other cool thing about the square drive rivet system is that it allows them to use only 6 rivets instead of 8 or 10 like a lot of their competitors. And when you do that, you reduce weight up to some cases about 200 grams. So that's a lot of weight savings. Awesome unsprung weight, very important, the holy grail of performance. Anything that's attached to your wheel and spinning around, not on the other side of your suspension, is going to make big improvements in how fast you can go, how fast you can accelerate. So removing unsprung weight, very good. Also helps with braking, of course. 6-month warranty on all the rotors from EBC, and available now at speedaddicts.com. Now, we've covered a lot of stuff. If you're not sure which type, and EBC offers several different types of rotors. If you're not sure what's right for you, talk to our rider support team. They're there to hold your hand, guide you, tell you what's available, what you might need for your type of riding. Hit them up. Phone, email, live chat. They're there for you at speedaddicts.com. That's it for today. We'll see you next time to find out what's in the crate.